What's up YouTube, Joe here from Zephyrwargames, and I'm bringing to you guys my 5th place Omnimon deck profile. So this is 5th place in accordance to the Bandai TCG app, but in terms of pricing I got tied for 3rd place, having a ratio of 3 wins to 1 loss, which I'm very pleased to see that this deck is now performing very well for me, as this is top contender for me to take to Bristol's regional in November, depending if nothing else happens post that in regards to new sets coming out, so on and so forth. So, before I get into the profile, if you enjoyed, give us a like and subscribe down below. Ding that notification bell, because if you enjoy Preston's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that. All the support is greatly appreciated, and thank you guys so much for doing so. So, with all that said, let's get into the profile. So, this has gone through multitude upon multitude of iterations, looking at tons of different lists, taking all tons of different advice from fellow members and people at my locals, and this is kind of like the accumulation of everyone's ideas, including my own. So we are obviously, as you saw on red base, so we're playing 4 copies of the BT14 Coromon, where security is checked, draw a single card. This allows us to be a little bit more aggressive with our low end in terms of our rookies, getting us 3 additional draws, and even when we get into our top end, getting 3 additional draws when we start trashing opponent's security with our inheritance. For the rookies, we're playing what is probably a small number compared to like most Omni lists, and with weird ratios as well, probably to some people, but strangely it just works very well for me. There's going to probably be a slight change, and I'll get to that when I get to it. But so far, this is what I took. So I took 4 copies of obviously the BT22 rookies of Gabumon and Agumon. These are self-explanatory for all Omni lists, giving you additional searches through the Gabumon and getting our pieces back with the Agumon, and both having the inheritance of end of turn DNA. The other rookie in terms of in archetype, being Gabumon Agumons I'm playing, is only 2 copies of the BT21 Agumon. Now, I believe this might have been some previous lists that I played, but he came out and he came back in again, and I'm really enjoying it. So this is one of those head scratches that to some people like, why are you playing this? Or like, really, you're playing that? It's just because this allows me to get double uses out of my rookies, and giving that 2k inherent buff on your turn means that when your Omnis are swinging, you are now potentially swinging for at least 17k additional 1000s for every Nokia you have, which means that you're safely checking every single security, as the highest base DP is only 16. So again, being able to reach that 17 threshold means that your Omnis are actually now swinging safely, and the only thing they're fearing is big massive blockers that you haven't been able to remove, or just option cards, but depending which Omni you have, you're even surviving those. I've been really enjoying this. This combos very well with Nokia, allowing me to on-play this for free, getting back a reptile from trash being the Gabumon, then I can on-play the Gabumon, get additional searches, and start doing my DNA Blaze. The last rookie I'm playing in the deck is just 2 copies of Ukamon from BT16. This is the self-explanatory as what Ukamon does, allowing you to get additional searches for anything in your deck, barring option cards, and then just by simply promoting him. Very nice card, combos very well with the Coromon as well, as you just promote this, get your additional searches, swing, and then get a free draw as well. So just playing 2 copies of that. The only change I'll be potentially trying out is a single copy of the EX4 Gabumon for additional searching. And the card I'll be taking out is what I'll be getting to in a minute. So moving into our 4s and 5s, because we have so little of them. And yes, I'm playing 4s and 5s. We're playing 2 copies of the BT17 Greymon and 2 copies of BT14 Skull Greymon. This is a tech that I had taken from fellow member Alex, as they also play Omnimon. This is something that they always like to play in their own decks. I took it because I wanted ways to remove floodgates, so Greymon helps really well with that while not hindering your overall plays, as being able to take all the names and the sources means you can still do your warp shenanigans while also removing potential annoyances. The Skull Greymon here is so for further removal of annoyances, um, getting things back from the trash, being mostly your Agumons, but also being able to allow me to climb. I wanted to have options where if I really needed to start Evo climbing to start to get back into the game, I wanted that kind of like potential while also being useful in other ways. So Skull Greymon just fits those requirements for me. But this is kind of something that after the Evo Cup, I'm thinking of dropping down to just one copy and then adding in that Goblin one I was mentioning earlier from EX4. There was a few instances where I was just having like both of them in my hand and they weren't being able to do anything because I didn't have a Greymon live or in play. So I'm just thinking maybe dropping one of them down so I still have that potential to Evo climb, still have the potential to just remove potential threats and annoyances while I'm trying to do my warp plays, but also just being less clogging in my hand. So that's just something I'm thinking of taking out to try out, just by reducing it to one because it still works, it still has its uses, and I still want to keep it in the deck. Moving into our megas, obviously we're playing 6 of each, being 4 copies of the BT17 Wargreymon, 2 copies of 22, 4 copies of the BT17 Metal Garurumon, and 2 copies of 22. So the reason I gone for this ratio, as in previous lists I was going for the more Nokia focus of going 4 of these and 2 of these. This was advised by fellow member Joe, and the other Joe, not me obviously, as they were, for their build, prioritizing more on the time map megas. The reasoning behind that is that if these get floodgated, you literally cannot play. Whereas if these get floodgated, you can still at least pay 11 to drop them and go into your Omnimon. It's a lot, but if it gets you to your Omnimon to then go for game, you can do that. And in all honesty, in testing, I really like that mentality, and I really like that play, and it's been doing very well for me. I still like having the ability to do the warp play if it comes up, as it does cost naturally just less memory. Um, so still having 2 of each of these is absolutely fantastic. We're still obviously using Nokia in the deck, so you do have that synergy. But being able to just always hard drop these for at least a again 11 at the very least, obviously 8 if you can put it off, just means that you're just doing your plays just so much more consistently, so much more faster, and I've just been really enjoying it. Moving into the 7s, we're obviously where the big boys are. We're playing 4 copies of Alter S from EX9. Again, this is one of from Joe's lists, and it's just been working great. I completely get his mentality and idea of just this guy is the boss. This guy just does so much for you. Having the immunity, having the delete, being able to spawn your guys back just really helps keep your field a lot more safer and a lot more defensive, and just overall just does the job. It does the job much more efficiently, and I've been really enjoying this at 4. Worst case scenario, if I ever had to drop it down, I'd probably drop it down to 3, as this is primarily the only one you want to start off with and keep on using. But yes, 4 has been working very well for me and really enjoying it. For the other Omnimons, we're playing 2 copies of the Ace. I really like having the Ace in the deck at more than 1, just because if they see the 1, to most players, that's literally it. If they see it once, that's kind of like it. But being able to surprise them again with a second one just really helps you keep your board and your game much more safer. Especially after you've done cheeky Alter S rings. So being able to do Alter S, split your guys out, and if they've already seen Ace, they're not going to literally expect it. They start springing, and then you can just ace them again. I'm just really liking the ace. It just clears off so many potential threats. Being able to just remove guys twice, it's just so strong. Being able to just clear off boards depending on what you're up against. I've just been really enjoying it too. If you don't want to play 2 of that though, I would definitely just bump up the CS Omnimon from BT22, Nokia's Omni. So that way you just have the much more stronger board removal or just bouncing bottom decking. You're still keeping that, but also you're just not in the the overflow potential as well. Really enjoying it at 1. I think 7 Omnimons has been absolutely perfect. I haven't needed any more, and I haven't needed to drop it down any less either. Moving on to Tamers, which is probably also going to surprise maybe some people head scratches. I'm only playing 8 in just simple 4 copies of Nokia from 22 and just 4 copies of Ty and Matt from BT17. I haven't needed really any other Tamers. I did play the Yuko Tamer from 22, the white Tamer. I was really enjoying that at one point as well, being able to just play my rookies and my tamers for just 2 less, and while also cycling through my deck. Yes, there's less CS cards in the deck, but all the important cards are CS. So I was being able to see my rookies a lot more faster, while also being able to play them for 1 less as well, which is very, very handy. I took it out though for something else, which you'll see later on, and I haven't really been needing to play any more tamers other than just these. The only other tamer I'd probably even think about playing is maybe a single copy of Mirai. Being able to just trash dead Nokias I don't need in my hand, or trashing a rookie to play back Miraculous Mega can combo very nicely, and then you can also on the following turn just play a Nokia that you have in your hand for nothing. So this is why that's the only other team I'd probably want to play, but at the moment 4 of each is great. Moving into the option cards, we're playing 4 copies of everyone's hated card. 4 copies of Marcus Mega Knight. This card's absolutely busted. Just 2 costs to play back any of your rookies, and also having you the protection as well is absolutely fantastic. You need to play at least 3 copies of this, but I wouldn't think of going less than 4. 2 copies of Mysterium Memory Boost. This is what I took the white tamer out to put this card in. In theory, it does the exact same thing that I need it to do. Instead of reducing a play by 2, I'm just getting 2 memory at a point. But also, it just sees everything in my deck. That's a Digimon except for these 2 and these 2. And I guess these 2 as well. But every other important Digimon is searchable in the deck of this card. And the 3/2 memory is also very handy as well if you need it. And then the last card in the deck is just 1 copy of Crimson Blaze. This was also a tech given to me by Joe. It just is such a strong card right now. Being able to just floodgate play cost effects is just very, very prominent at the moment. And so I like to have 1 copy of this in my decks now if I'm playing red-based decks. I just think it's a very strong floodgate potential option card. But that, guys, is the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. I do apologize if the Omnimon spamming of decks at the moment is a bit too much. But it's just a deck I'm currently playing a lot lately. And it's the kind of deck that I just want to give you guys the updates as I go along, especially if it's being very successful as it is right now. So you guys can get good ideas on what you can take into the deck, what you could be looking at in terms of trying out. And just getting an overall understanding of what Omnimon is kind of like and how strong it probably is. I don't think it's unbeatable by the long shot. Like, it's very easily beatable. But I just want to try and make it as strong as I possibly can again for Bristol's regionals in November. But again, this could potentially change. One deck I'm looking at is actually CS as a deck, especially with the BT23 reveals. But yes, so expect that on the channel at some point once 23 starts coming out. So as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, as always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.